Hey guys, welcome to week 2. We're going to jump right into it. We have our guitar, we have it tuned, and today I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be using a guitar pick because we're actually going to be getting into some guitar chords. We're going to be playing some actual chords. And so for strumming, I like to use a guitar pick. Much cleaner sound, I think. If you don't have a pick, of course, you could still do it. It's going to beat up your fingernails a little bit, but that's okay. So with a pick, we're going to be using that today. There's songs and there's different play styles that might not use the pick. You might have to use just your fingers. I can think of a couple examples, but like Brown-Eyed Girl, it uses just your fingers because you're going to be playing the 3rd string and the 1st string, the G string and the E string. And so for that, you're going to have to play two strings, so you might need just your fingers and not a pick. But then you might have to switch over to the pick because then the strumming pattern of the song. So yeah, we're going to be mostly using the pick today, and I'm going to be teaching you some guitar chords today. And this is what's called a chord progression. And a chord is putting your fingers down on the guitar to play not a single note of G, for example, but playing the different notes that play together will make, this is the G chord, for example. Has a G note right here in the root of it. So that's a chord. And you can put chords together to make songs. And the way you string those together is called a progression. And so one of the most popular, one of the most used chord progressions is the one that's written over my shoulder there on the board. It's from G to D to E minor to C. Then it goes back to G. And if that sounds familiar, I was like, why does that sound like a song I know? It's because there's a million songs that use the same progression of going. Or you might have heard it a little more sped up or different breaks. There's a Green Day song, a bunch of other songs too. So looking at this chord progression with the root of G, that's the key of the song. The song is written in the key of G. Then we just follow this predetermined pattern, and it gets into a lot of music theory, which we're not going to get into this week, but we will in the next few weeks. G, D, E minor, C. And because I want to get you guys playing as soon as possible, here's the first chord I want to teach you. The first one I want to teach you is E minor. And E minor is right here. All you'll need is your middle 2 fingers right here. All right, you just need your middle 2 fingers. And where they go is right here. If you count the frets, so these are frets, the spaces in between. See these metal dividers here? So the frets, the frets are actually the metal divider, but we count the frets this way. We count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you'll notice they have useful markings on here. See these little dots? Well, that marks, of course, this is 1, but then 3, 5, 7, 9. And that'll become important later when you're trying to hit certain notes or do certain chords down here, being able to see those dots. And my guitar even has the dots on the top as well to line up with them. So that's helpful when you're trying to hit a chord, so you don't have to sit there counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know it's 3, 5, 7, 9. And right here, this is marked 12. 12 is interesting because it's the exact middle between the string, and so the notes, for example, the same notes that you tune with E, if you put your finger down and play on that 12, it's E, it's still the same note, but up an octave. It's just low and high. Same note though. So if you put your fingers across it, it sounds like the guitar, but just higher. All right, so that's what's useful about that double dots there. That's the 12th fret. That's 1 octave up. So this, with my finger on the 12th, is the same as my hand off, just up an octave. All right, so E minor. The chord of E minor, we're going to be playing with these 2 fingers right here, the middle 2 fingers. And if you start with your second finger here, okay, and my ring finger, okay, so your middle 2 fingers. Second finger, I'm putting it right here. I'm using the second fret, second space, all right. I put my second finger. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second finger. Second fret. Yes, 1, second fret. Right here on the 5th string. Give you a good look there where my finger is, the 5th string. And then my ring finger goes right underneath it on the 4th string. So on the A, there's my second finger. And on the D string, right? So you see my middle 2 fingers? They're going right here. They're going on the 2nd fret, on the 5th and 4th string. 5th string, 4th string. And that's it. Keep these 2 out of the way, and then just strum. You can strum straight down from top to bottom. All the notes are in this chord. That's E minor. That's all it is. It's just these 2 middle fingers right here on the 2nd fret. 1 up here, the 2nd finger on the 5th string, and 3rd finger, my middle finger there. My ring finger goes on the 3rd string. Here, I'll throw the chord up here in the corner. So when you're reading a chord diagram, the black bar, the black thick bar, represents this guy right here, represents the nut, so the top of the fretboard up here. And then the lines represent the strings. And the little dots you see have numbers in them, and that indicates which fingers to put down. And the little dots are where you're going to press your fingers down. So in the case of E minor, it's going to be your 2nd finger on the 5th string, and your ring finger, your 3rd finger, on the D string on the 3rd string, the 4th string. And that's it. You just played your first chord. So that's a good one to build up some confidence if you can get this sound out of the guitar. A couple hints: if you're not getting the sound you want out of the guitar, try to really, when I press down my fingers, I want you to see where those indentations are, to where the string travels. So I am using the tips of my fingers to press down. I find that easier than if I find I'm too flat if I use the flat parts on my fingers, like this, if my fingers are a little too flat, then I'm going to be interfering with some of the other strings. So you want to make sure to really get those fingers curled up and around the other strings. See how they're curled over, so they're not touching any other strings. So really try to practice getting those strings down with the very tips of your fingers. Okay, let me scoot back so you see how I'm sitting here. All right, and then this arm, I try to keep it don't flare it out like this. Don't pull it in too far either, because you don't have any range to move like that. Just find a nice neutral position for your chicken wing here. And your wrist too, you don't want to come too far up with it, because you're just going to tire your wrist out very quick. But also, like we said, you don't want to do it too flat and your wrist up too high, because then you can't play that either. So a nice neutral, relaxed position for your arm there. And then just practice that and make sure all the notes you hit in the chord sound clear and not muted. See, I'm not pressing it down hard enough, so it sounds like that. So really press it down. And yes, your fingers are gonna hurt when you first start out. They're gonna hurt for a while. Mine still hurt. If I play for a while, your hand is gonna cramp up and your wrist will hurt and your fingers will hurt. But it's just part of what it is. So yeah, that's the E minor. I'll throw it back up there. That's the E minor chord. All it takes is 2 fingers. All right, and that's part of that chord progression in the key of G that we said. That'll be kind of the next chords we learn. All right, but I wanted to start you off with that confidence booster. All you need is those 2 middle fingers right here on the 5th and 4th strings, on the A and the D strings, and then just play that. And then just keep playing that until you're comfortable, and then try taking your hand away and then putting it back down, so you know you can hit that chord every time. When you're building a chord, what I try to do is I try to find what I call the anchor point. So the anchor point is the first finger I put down. I have to make sure I get that first finger down in the right place. The other fingers, when they fall, is just kind of going to be kind of muscle memory, just kind of practice and the repetition. So for E minor, my anchor is I use my second finger here, right here, second finger. I just try to land it right there, 2nd fret, 5th string, every time, boom. As soon as I put that down, I know that my next finger, my 3rd finger, I can just put in the string right below that on the 4th string. So boom, boom. That's what it looks like in slow motion. It's just. Okay. All right, that's what I would like to work on this week. And if we work on it this week, then we'll be able to come in next week and we'll just jump right into making the other chords in that chord progression. At least the 3, at least C and D and C. And if we practice those 3, even if we can throw in that E minor chord in there, which is the one we're just learning this week, we'll be able to do a ton of songs. All right, we'll just do a chord progression. you jump ahead of me, no worries. It's G. I'm doing G, D, E minor. But we'll look at the rest of those next week. So don't fret. So that's a little joke. Fret. Anyway, that's what I want to work on this week. All right, just practice that. Practice getting a nice clean sound out of your guitar when you do a chord. Here's what I'm doing with this hand, just strumming down the strings. All right, E minor chord. And that's it. You can get this sound out of it. We're ahead of the game. All right. All right, so that's what we'll do. And next week we'll get into a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, practice that. E minor. 2 fingers. 2 strings on the guitar, that's it. Pretty easy, right? All right, we'll build on that.